वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो
नमो
भगवते
भ-
वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्णा पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः हृद्यन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विधुनोति सुविस्तृतम्। नष्टप्रायसु भद्रेषु नित्यं भगवत सेवया भगवत्या उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 16, verse 11 to 14. Verse 11. दुरासदो दुर्विशाः आशन्नोऽपि विदुरवत् नैवाभिभवितुं शक्यो वेनारण्य उत्थितन्नरः. Synonyms: Durasadah, unapproachable; Durvishaha, unbearable; Ashanaha, being approached; Api, although; Viduravat, as if far away; Na, never; Eva, certainly; Avibhavitum, to be overcome; Sakyaha, able; Vena, king; Vena, Arani, the wood that produces fire; Uthitaha, being born of; Analaha, fire. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Prithu was born of the dead body of King Bena, as fire is produced from Arani wood. Thus King Prithu will always remain just like fire, and his enemies will not be able to approach him. Indeed, he will be unbearable to his enemies, for although staying very near him, they will never be able to approach him, but will have to remain as if far away. No one will be able to overcome the strength of King Prithu. Purport: Arani wood is a kind of fuel used to ignite fire by friction. At the time of performing sacrifices, one can ignite a fire from Arani wood. Although born of his dead father, King Prithu would still remain just like fire. Just as fire is not easily approached, King Prithu would be unapproachable by his enemies, even though they would appear to be very near him. Verse 12. अन्तर्बहिश्च भूतानां पश्यन् कर्माणि चारणे उदासीनो इवाध्यक्षो वायुरात्मेव देहिनाम्. Synonyms: Antaha, internally; Bahi, externally; Cha, and Bhutanam, of living entities; Pasyan, seeing; Karmani, activities; Charane, by spies; Udasinaha, neutral; Eva, like; Adhyakshaha, the witness; Vayu, the air of life; Atma, the living force; Eva, like; Dehinam, of all the embodied. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Prithu will be able to see all the internal and external activities of every one of his citizens. Still, no one will be able to know his system of espionage, and he himself will remain neutral regarding all matters of glorification or vilification paid to him. He will be exactly like air, the life force within the body, which is exhibited internally and externally, but is always neutral to all affairs. Verse 13. Nadandyam dandayate sha sutam atma dishamapi dandayate atmajam api dandyam dharmapathe stitaha. Synonyms: na, not; adandyam, not punishable; dandayati, punishes; eshaha, this king; shutam, the son; atma, drisham, of his enemies; api, even; Dandayati, he punishes; Atmajam, his own son; Api, even; Dandyam, punishable; Dharmapathe, on the path of piety; Sthitaha, being situated. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Since this king will always remain on the path of piety, he will be neutral to both his son and the son of his enemy. If the son of his enemy is not punishable, he will not punish him. But if his own son is punishable, he will immediately punish him. Purport. These are the characteristics of an impartial ruler. It is the duty of a ruler to punish the criminal and give protection to the innocent. King Prithu was so neutral that if his own son were punishable, he would not hesitate to punish him. On the other hand, if the son of his enemy were innocent, he would not engage in some intrigue in order to punish him. Verse 14. अस्या प्रतिहतं चक्रं पृथुरामानसाचलात् वर्तते भगवानर्को यावत् तपति गोगणैः. Synonyms: Asya, of this king, apratihatam, not being impeded, chakram, the circle of influence, prithoho, of King Prithu, a manasha achalat, up to Manasha mountain, Vartate, remains, Bhagavan, the most powerful, Arkaha, sun god, Yavat, just as, Tapati, science, Go Ganehi, with rays of light. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Just as the sun god expands his shining rays up to the Arctic region without impedance, the influence of King Prithu will cover all tracts of land up to the Arctic region and will remain undisturbed as long as he lives. Purport. Although the Arctic region is not visible to ordinary persons, the sun shines there without impediment, just as no one can check the sunshine from spreading all over the universe. No one could check the influence and reign of King Prithu, which would remain undisturbed as long as he lived. The conclusion is that the sunshine and the sun god cannot be separated, nor could King Prithu and his ruling strength be separated. His rule over everyone would continue without disturbance. Thus, the king could not be separated from his ruling power. End of purport. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, I'm seeking blessings from all the assembled Vaishnavas, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to read Srimad Bhagavatam and to purify myself. I'll summarize those 4 verses. I have taken notes from a lecture given by my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Jayapatka Swami Guru Maharaj. So I'll just summarize those 4 verses. So in verse 11, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that King Prithu was born from the dead body of King Bena, as fire is produced from Arani wood. Thus, King Prithu always remained like fire, and his enemies will not be able to approach him. Lord Prithu is a Satyavesha avatar of Krishna. So, wherever there is Krishna, Maya cannot stay there. Krishna, it's mentioned that Krishna Surya Shama, Maya hoye andhakara, jahan Krishna tahan nahi Maya adhikara. So Srila Prabhupada says this Krishna consciousness movement is an incarnation of Krishna. It is a branch of his transcendental tree. He is the tree as well as the gardener. This movement, although situated in so many countries, so many cities around the world, in the midst of civilization based upon Rajoguna, Tamaguna, although envious minded people are very near, still they have to stay far away. That is the protection Krishna gives. Srila Prabhupada always says, Purity is the force. We must maintain our purity. And then Krishna will always protect us. So, the preachers, book distributors, devotees who go outside for the benefit of conditioned soul in this material world, who are bound up in ignorance, they are protected by the mercy of Krishna. Purity, there is external. So, in purity, we can see the external purity and internal purity. For external purity, we take bath, we have to clean our body, keep it clean. For internal purity, we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we worship the deities. Internal purity, of course, means much more. It comes from the deep obligation we have to our spiritual master. Everyone in this material world lives in an abominable condition because they are taking this body, mind, and intelligence in their self, and therefore they are suffering. In anxiety, in desire, in so called misery, and so called enjoyment, they are being tossed around the ocean of material world. So, spiritual master gives us the seed of pure devotion. Brahmande Brahmite Kon Bhagyavan Jiva, Guru Krishna Kripa Pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. That seed of devotion is so valuable, it saves one from the abominable condition. So, devotees has two obligations. The devotee has to tend the seed which sprouts and turns into a plant, into a tree, and he has to fulfill the responsibility the spiritual master gives to him or her. Krishna works through the spiritual master. When someone is chanting and not crying, means his heart is hard as stone. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that the higher stage comes in chanting with so many devotees and in giving that devotion to others. The order given by Srila Prabhupada and previous acharyas and Mahaprabhu himself that every person, every house should be approached and they should be begged to take up the order of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That order is to chant Hare Krishna, worship Krishna, study the teachings of Krishna, like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Karo Krishna, Shiksha. This is the order Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur they received, and Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur they have to go to every house and beg them to chant Hare Krishna. So, we are completely subordinate to our spiritual master's mercy. Srila Prabhupada gives us so many instructions how to be a devotee, how to be a disciple, how to be a spiritual master, how to be a king, how to be a kshatriya, how to be a brahmana, how to be a vaishya, shudra. He has given all the instructions how to be a grihastha, how to raise children, how to give up grihastha life and be a sannyasi, everything. So that for 10,000 years, this movement will go on expanding, and so that everyone has a clear idea how we should act because nobody is independent of the Shastra. Here we see how Prithu Maharaj, he was such a great ruler that he was just like fire. Similarly, every devotee should be just like fire. Fire, when it's controlled, it's very useful and it is very powerful. Uncontrolled fire means that is, it's destructive. So devotees are like fire, but that fire is applied. That's why they are continuously fueled. It's given down the disciplic succession and the preaching goes on expanding. So we have seen as much electricity as it is required for illuminating a light, that much is given from the powerhouse. So, as much as we can give out Krishna's mercy, Krishna would provide so much more load, so much more electricity Shakti. We have to see there is no short circuit. We don't have any leaks. If we have a loose wire touching the wall, it creates electrical leak. Unlimited electricity is drawn up. So much energy is expanded for no useful purpose. In fact, if we'll touch the wall, we'll get a shock. It can be very dangerous. So is that is where purity comes in. By purity, we are insulating ourselves from any leaks, from any contact with Maya conductors, and we are simply taking that energy right where it needs to go, right through the conditioned soul's heart, igniting their wood like heart and making it like fire also. So, in this way, the fire goes on spreading. More and more spiritual fires are ignited. So, Srila Prabhupada knew that when a little spiritual light, little fire is started, little plant is there. It is very fragile. It can be easily destroyed. Prithu Maharaj, even there are many enemies, they could not get near him. They could not approach him. They could not find a fault or an opportunity to attack him. He was so powerful and so mysterious. They did not know where he was coming, where he was going, what he was doing, how much money he has. Everything about him was opulent because he was covered by Krishna's transcendental potency. So, similarly, we have to be always in the shelter of Jagannath Baladevan Subhadra Maharani. Subhadra Maharani sees Yoga Maya. If we are under her shelter, no one can really see what is happening. We should be very careful to be under the shelter for Yoga Maya, but not Mahamaya. Yoga Maya Samanvita. We have to be under the shelter of Krishna always, so we can execute the orders of previous acharyas. See, we see in verse 12 that King Prithu knew everything what others are thinking about him, though he remained neutral to this. Why? Because he is an incarnation of the Lord. So we can think here that if we can understand everything what others are thinking about us, will it be possible to remain neutral? Let's say we come to know either directly or indirectly. Someone likes us, someone speaks something good about us, someone don't like us, and they speak not very good about us. So, will it be possible for us to be neutral? Not at all. Because, but like we are conditioned souls. But here, Prithu Maharaj, who knows exactly what a person in front of him is thinking about him, or thought about him, or is going to think about him, he knows everything. Still, he remains neutral, impartial to them. So, people under this kind of ruler must be feeling very inspirational. We may have lots of bad qualities. We may not be perfect, but when we'll go and stand in front of Krishna, we say to Krishna, Krishna, look, I am like this. I have thousand number of faults, but I am eager to serve you. Please accept me. Yes, Krishna will accept us because he sees the sincerity, the desire within us. We can learn the lesson from Prithu Maharaj that we should not judge people, what background they're coming from, what they're lacking. If they have the desire to serve, we should inspire them, like so they will develop that quality more and more. And in that way, a faith will develop. So this was the mood of Prithu Maharaj. He like characteristics of all the characteristics of a good leader. A good leader should always think him or herself as the servant of servant. Everyone may or may not like us, but our faith should be Krishna is my only shelter. It doesn't matter if someone likes me or not. Then we can be neutral and sees. Then when we become neutral, we can see things as it is, and this develops the serving mode. And in verse 13, Srila Prabhupada described that King Prithu was neutral to both his son and the son of his enemy. If the son of his enemy is not punishable, he will not punish him, but if his own son is punishable, he will immediately punish him. This verse reminds of another verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, verse 18. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shuni Chaiva Sapake Cha Pandita Samadarshina. So, the humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and dog eater. A Krishna conscious person does not make any distinction between species or caste. The differences of body are meaningless from the viewpoint of learned transcendentalist. This is due to their relationship to the Supreme. For the Supreme Lord, by his plenary portion as Paramatma, is present in everyone's heart. Such an understanding of the Supreme is real knowledge. A Krishna conscious person has full knowledge of this and therefore is truly learned and has equal vision. King Prithu is a very good example of this. He has equal vision for all living entity. Towards the end of the purport, in this verse 13, Srila Prabhupada has mentioned that on the other hand, if the son of his enemy were innocent, he would not engage in some intrigue in order to punish him. So this word intrigue, which means engaging in some secret plans or kind of like politics. So Prithu Maharaj was not doing such kind of stuff. Then in verse 14, Srila Prabhupada describes about the influence of Prithu Maharaj, his prabhav. Like everyone has the influence to certain degree, but Prithu Maharaj has his influence till the sun has its influence. The conclusion is that the sunshine and the sun god cannot be separated, nor could King Prithu and his ruling strength be separated. His rule over everyone would continue without disturbance. Thus, the king could not be separated from his ruling power. I'll stop here. Thank you again for giving me the opportunity to read Srimad Bhagavatam and purify myself. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada